Okay, so today we're looking at Ice Climber for the Game Boy Advance, released in 2004 as part of the classic NES series line of NES re-releases onto GBA carts that they used to sell for 20 bucks a piece. And we're looking at this game because I felt the need to rail about how awful this game is, and wonder why people were fond of this game when it really wasn't all that good to begin with. Was it because they were in Smash? The goal is to climb up the mountain, break through the ice bricks, and fend off the foes trying to knock you off and impede your progress. You also have to navigate slippery slopes, moving platforms, and a number of other dangers. When you're close to the peak, you could play a bonus game where you try to collect all the fruit in the round, make your way to the very top of the mountain, and attempt to grab the pterodactyl that just happens to be passing by. Succeed, and you get a bonus. Fail, and you get to watch your player cry, which is actually one of the game's foremost highlights, because I sure as hell wasn't going to find any other highlights in this game. Ice Climber has a couple tunes to jam to. The title theme, which is actually quite catchy for the most part, and also plays during the bonus segment of the game, and there's the tune that plays during actual gameplay that's not only bland, but short and repetitive as well. Sound effects are your stock Nintendo sound effects, nothing special nor offensive. Graphically, Ice Climber on NES was clean looking, and you could make out all the little characters and stuff, and the details such as the lines of the ice conveyors that moved you around when you were not standing. And the compression to the Game Boy screen, which tends to be hit and miss with these classic NES releases. It's not so bad with Ice Climber. Ice Climber maintains most of the quality of the graphics, which is, quite impressive for this sort of thing, I guess. As for the gameplay itself, it's definitely playable, but barely functional. It's simple enough, seemingly, but the controls are a bit of an issue, as your Ice Climber fellow has trouble landing on platforms. You have to plan your jumps just right so that you land well within the bounds of a higher platform. If you're aiming just for the edge, you'll either hit the very ceiling and tumble down, or you'll pass through the platform and fall anyways. Like it'll seem like you're touching the platform, but you just fall through and it's a frustrating flaw they should have fixed, but never did. One aspect of Ice Climber that I liked, similar to a feature found in another black box NES release called Wrecking Crew, is that you could choose to start a new game from any of the 32 mountains featured. There's also a 2-player co-op options via Game Link, which is a thing you could do if desired, God knows why, but it's there. Overall, Ice Climber is a flawed release and not a particularly enjoyable game. It's not quite as bottom of the barrel as some of the worst games to come along on the NES later on, but it's bad enough to make an Ice Climber cry during a bonus round fail. Definitely the weakest entry of the classic NES series, and outside of collecting purposes, this is one to avoid.